And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition here of the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 4 2026 Playoffs Day Number 4 co-stream. I'm of course just like VIP. With him, joined by the main casters, of course, by State, by Sturgeon, and of course by Gemini and Tasteless eventually as well. So welcome one and all to our coverage here of RSL. Again, we are halfway through the playoffs at this point, or partially the way through. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been covering the event. We've been co-streaming. For those that are curious, co-streaming is, think of it like a react stream, I suppose. We have been co-streaming the RSL for the past couple of seasons, and we have also been co-streaming some other events like EWC and like DreamHack, for example. We always do co-stream with permission, of course. Bear that in mind. We do have official permission from RSL to co-stream their event. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So we're here. We are back, and we've been progressing through the bracket. As you can see here, the bracket just went by, but the bracket has been progressing. Last night we were live with some elimination matches, and we did bid adieu to a couple of key players. Hero comes to mind, as Hero is out of the RSL. We had a crazy upset with Rogue popping off and Rogue shutting Hero down 3-1. It was crazy. It was 3-1 or 3-0. Jesus, it was a long day yesterday. It was that's the big saying in the chat. 3-0, sorry, 3-0. So Hero is out, Zaun is out as well. Again, we had some crazy games last night. Aggressive games and a really short broadcast. It was like a 2-hour cast, to be honest. Really short, and we might see another short one here as well. This is one of my biggest criticisms regarding the RSL, but they have really short broadcasting days. Only 2 best of 5s. 2 best of 5s, they don't really last much, or they don't really last long, to be honest, especially amongst these players that do favor aggressive builds, and we're expecting that as well. Up first, we're going to be jumping into Maru versus ByuN in a TvT, followed by Max versus Trigger in a PvP. Mirror matchups abound in tonight's broadcast, so best of luck in the chat when it comes to the eventual gamba, the eventual predictions. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Archon Studios. Bam, you can see their 2-player starter set in Sturgeon's hands, and you can also see the Zeratul figure in between them as well. Again, shout out to Archon Studios. The StarCraft Miniatures game is around the corner. Pre-orders are still available, I think, for the next 2 weeks. I think it's like 1 or 2 weeks into April is when pre-orders do end. And if you want to get into the StarCraft Miniatures game, I do recommend getting into it during the pre-orders if you want to save some money. Specifically, if you want to do that. For pre-orders, they do have some bundles where you can get discounts, but again, those discounts will be ending after the pre-order pre-order period does come to an end as well. I got my starter set. I got, for those who are curious, I got a starter set, and I got a pair of Hydras, because Hydras are not a part of the starter sets. And also, I'm going to be making a Zerg army, of course, ideally making a Zerg army. I've already got a group of friends that are already going to be getting into it as well. I will see. We'll see how it goes. I'll be honest. Said group of friends, they're into like Warhammer. They're into like Warhammer and other like wargaming strategy games, so they're a little bit more experienced when it comes to that. And I would imagine that, yeah, well, I mean, it'll be interesting to actually speak to them about their experiences with the StarCraft Miniatures game once we get into it, and how it differs, how it compares, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. They have a lot more experience when it comes to wargaming. I never got into it. I always had the passing interest, but obviously, as I'm sure a lot of people are aware, like, especially when it comes to Warhammer, like, price is a big kind of like hurdle to get over. Like, Warhammer is insanely expensive, especially here in Australia. So trying to get into like a hobby like that is insane. Like, you need a lot of disposable income to do stuff like that. It's when it comes to purchasing, when it comes to painting as well. But I did want to get into the StarCraft Miniatures game, because of course StarCraft is our passion, so did want to get into it, at least when it comes to the starter sets. I don't know how much I'll really, I mean, we'll see. I don't know how much I'll really get involved, but something to look forward to in the future. I don't know if I'll ever make content regarding it, like streaming and making videos. Like, I don't know if I'll go that far. We'll see. We might have some painting streams in the future, maybe. maybe. But regardless, we are getting into the RSL again. We do have our vetoes underway. As I mentioned before, the TvT is upon us. Bam! Let's have a closer look here at our beautiful players. We have ByuN and Maru, 2 very good friends. They're best of friends, actually. A lot of banter between the 2 of them, and also a lot of spiciness as well when it comes to the TvT. Game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Game 2, Necropolis. Game 3, Missing You Today. Game 4, Throne of the Dunes. And Game 5 is going to be on Taito Citadel. We have our 5 upcoming maps. Vetoes are now done. We have our player cams and we have our TvT. Now, When it comes to Terran versus Terran, when it comes to Maru versus ByuN, they're both hyper aggressive in the matchup. Typically, I do favor. If you recall, I was saying previously that I favored a Cure against Maru, but ByuN against Maru is going to be an interesting one as we are jumping right on in. Let's go.
Maru in the bottom left is the red Terran.
Now, whenever I watch Maru play recently, I always start the set by thinking, like, what kind of Maru are we getting today? Are we going to get, like...
Very quickly, in the bottom left, we have Maru for onside. In the top right, we have ByuN for Shopify. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets, baby. Get your Gamba going as predictions are now available. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck, baby. Best of luck. Just catching up. We are already going to be going for a fake proxy rack set of ByuN. Okay, let's go, baby. Let's go.
And Maru going for a gas first opening back at home, which tells me that he wants to tech up pretty quickly, but he doesn't want to have to spend 75 minerals on a second Vespene Geyser because he wants to have his expansion up.
Yeah, so we do see a double gas opener out of ByuN, meanwhile single gas opener out of Maru. Double gas openers do allow for a faster factory. They allow for a faster tech start out of ByuN. They allow him to be safe and a little bit more aggressive as a result of that. Meanwhile, Maru is going for something more economic, single gas into a faster CC.
Go up into some kind of tech play and be the aggressor in the matchup, which we know ByuN likes to do. We'll have to see what the choice is shortly as the racks finish up, but some small deviations in the early game, nothing too crazy so far. I'm starting to get a little bit, I'm starting to get excited now just as this game gets going here. We see a Reaper on both sides as well as the Orbital. And what is going to be made down here? Probably is not like you often make one racks outside your base, but making a factory is there as well feels a bit weird.
It is weird.
And it's funny too because it's all hidden. There's all this subterfuge going on the other side of the map, but Maru hasn't scouted. So
Right.
to him, this is just a normal game right now, and he's feeling confident enough
so
to build the Nexus. Or not
as they're kind of alluding to again, Maru, he's blindly just opening up economically. He did not SCV scout. ByuN isn't doing anything cheeky in a sense, like he's not proxying, he's not cheesing, but he's hiding his production buildings so that a scout would have forced an overreaction out of Maru. Unfortunately, there is no scout, right? There is no scout across the map, so Maru, there's nothing to react to because he hasn't seen anything to react to, and this does favor Maru early on. But ByuN does have again that tech advantage, and ByuN can make use of that. ByuN can now be the aggressor, and we'll see what ByuN can get done. I do typically favor ByuN in the mid game of TvT against Maru. Like ByuN is a very aggressive player, but I do favor Maru in a longer game. Maru has some of the best late game TvT out there, so Maru can be a beast in that kind of situation, that scenario, if he can get there. So we're going to have that kind of mid game back and forth initially, and we'll see what ByuN can get done.
Gonna be a pretty formidable force.
When it comes to the early game, like, they're both favored. Like, Maru and ByuN, they're both known for cheese, for proxy.
He's going to be able to match the firepower of
None of that
ByuN's
here.
kind of early Reaper Hellion Force very easily, but I'm not sure if he will go for that. Starport now on the way for ByuN as well as a tech lab. Maru's is just finishing up here. And yeah, we've just got to see when exactly ByuN wants to be aggressive here. As if you don't do anything with your units, then your CC is just later, right? You're a little bit behind.
Is Maru going to go mech, by the way? We had that one Reaper made, and there has been no more bio units.
Mech is definitely a viable option for Maru. Maru, he does enjoy mech in TvT.
Yeah.
Maru is one of these Terrans that has mech in the TvT repertoire, but I wasn't really expecting to see that in a series versus ByuN.
Nah, we expect it
we might
at
just
some
have
point.
Also him developing into bio a little bit later.
Like, we do expect mech at some point from Maru. Whether he does it here on the Old Republic, hard to say. There are definitely some better maps for mech, but we'll keep an eye on Maru, as for now he's getting into his own Raven production.
As does ByuN. That's going to be able to shut down any powerful units. There are no tanks on the field just yet, but you're going to look for an expensive unit that does a lot of damage to shut down. And here come the Hellions of Maru. Who's going to move across the map, do a little poke
very
here,
Hellion heavy,
and see exactly what ByuN has right now.
We've seen this out of Percival.
ByuN waiting in his ramp with 3 Reapers, a handful of
We'll see if he can rush through.
as well as a Cyclone, and Mars is going to sidestep that. He might actually be able to catch these units out.
They line up. They do line up. Oh my god.
Hellions getting a ton of damage in on all of these Reapers. Oh my goodness, ByuN is in trouble. The Raven is coming here. Doesn't quite drop down the auto turret just yet, as Mar actually, he's going to be sending his own Raven into the main base of ByuN, trying to get some economic damage done.
Yeah, I love the way this is going for Maru right now. Trades out, gets a good
GG. GG. Very strong start.
I mean, ByuN lost so much there in the natural ramp, and then the Raven goes to the main base, and everything just gets worse. I guess we're never going to know if Maru is going to go mech. It kind of looked like he might, but the game doesn't even get there. He just closes it out with fast reactored Hellions. That was quick.
That was so quick. I didn't expect the game to just end there. I thought ByuN would...
Well, the reason why, sorry, very quickly, the reason why the game ended then and there, bearing in mind the game state, context does matter. It isn't just that Maru, sorry, let's open it up. It isn't just that Maru was able to catch out the army and reset the Reaper Hellion. It isn't just that Maru got economic damage. It's also that Maru went for an economic opener and ByuN went for a double gas opener. What does that mean? That means ByuN was already behind. He was already behind economically. His advantage was the army. He had to be active, he had to counterattack, and we were all waiting for that moment. But because ByuN lost the army, and he lost his economy even further, I mean, GG, right? Like, again, there's like this kind of compounding effect of damage on damage on damage, on top of the fact that because of the opener, ByuN was already in a brutal position, and he had to get more damage done, which he no longer could due to losing all his Reaper Hellion. And he also didn't really kill any of the Hellions of his opponent either. GG. GG, well played. So a strong start here for Maru. Does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if ByuN can bounce back. Again, I do expect this series to be really fast. Even if we go all 5 games, I expect short games overall.
1-0. Yeah, I like it. So in the top left, we have the red Terran Maru, and in the bottom right, it's the blue Terran ByuN.
I wonder what we're going to see from Maru this time. That was an interesting build order coming in from Maru.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, we've seen it
I
before.
liked it. Going into the Reactor Hellions meant he was able to catch up with ByuN's Hellions.
So I should emphasize that the Reactor Hellion build, we've seen it from Percival, we've seen it from Maru, we've seen it from, I want to say Cure as well. Sorry, no, Cure, Bunny. It's very committed because if your Hellions fail to do damage, then you do fall behind. Like, it's a pretty big investment to be spending your factory reactoring out all those Hellions, because that is going to be delaying your tank production, that's going to be delaying your Cyclones. Like, it delays further tech, further factory production as well, so you're hoping for damage, and again, ByuN was caught with his pants down.
You're going to be in a little bit of trouble if your opponent is pumping 2 Barracks Reaper out, right? Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can still make Hellions, you can still stabilize, but you're probably going to lose a couple SCVs to the natural expansion. Your command center is probably going to be delayed in mining from that natural expansion. And from that perspective, it's maybe a little bit of a greedy opening there for Maru, going for the 1 Reaper and then the low ground CC, but I mean, he read ByuN like a book.
Yeah, he got away with it. I mean, he scouted well with his Reaper, making sure ByuN wasn't being too aggressive or anything like that. And then he just walked across the map, dodged the ramp, and ended the game. Once again, we did see Maru go for an early gas here in this game. ByuN has his CC up quicker this game, in time with Maru's. So we'll have to see how this pans out, as Maru's actually going to SCV this scout, and he's going to be a super annoying here. Delay the CC for as long as he can. Maybe make it off-center and then relift it later.
Yeah,
We're actually just going to make it on the high ground, yeah. That's a nice little win there.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the idle time of the
Also, quickly touching on the openers here, as opposed to last game, this time Rax expand, right? So ByuN, you know, part of why he had to tap out was because of his opener failing to do damage. This time ByuN goes for an economic start instead, going for a faster CC. So does Maru. So we do have some more, I believe, some more economic openers out of both players.
Going down for ByuN already. This Reaper, once again, going to stay at home. Both of them being very defensive with their Reapers. We often see the players send them across the map right away, see if they can get a scout, see if they can catch the other guy's Reaper out the base, go for some
So there's a
workers.
slight variation. ByuN did take a faster second gas compared to Maru, which is why he also got a faster
Make sure
factory.
I am safe and I can, you know, do the first part of my build uninterrupted.
Yeah, Matt
at
was
least.
pointing it out.
Yeah, Maru now taking the second gas, adding in the reactor here onto that barracks, the factory as well. Just some pretty standard development. ByuN just a touch faster right now, checking into the starport, but besides that, the beer builds are nearly identical.
Kind of. Like, Gemini, State, he did, like, barely graze on it a little bit there. But as we mentioned, ByuN had faster second gas, faster factory, faster starports, faster tech in general.
And do with that, we have a tech lag coming down. And these Reapers jump up there, and the factory blocks it perfectly.
So he saw everything he needed to.
I don't even think he wants to get into the main base, seeing the reactor right now on the factory. He knows that those Hellions are on the map, and he wants to keep those Reapers alive as much as possible right now, as Maru's only just now beginning his starport, and I'm not sure how much we actually have in terms of defense for him back at home. He can try and hold the natural ramp here. It is a high ground natural expansion with these 2 Reapers, but with 2 Hellions and a Reaper, he will quickly have to exit this area.
ByuN does catch some
There's
SCVs.
going to be a couple workers going down here for Maru at the very least.
Yeah, good start here for ByuN.
And again, this is because of the faster factory, the faster Hellion production. Will lose a Reaper, but does take down 3 SCVs.
Will this final Reaper go down?
God.
It will. that means this Mule is forfeit.
Yeah,
It's gonna
he's going to
fall
give him more.
instantly, and very good start here for
The power of the
ByuN.
Hellion.
Yeah, ByuN getting the damage that he wanted with those
didn't even go back in.
Hellions very early coming in, and Maru, he will be able to stabilize now with the Cyclone and the Marines finishing up back at home. But for ByuN, you already clean up those Reapers, you get 4 SCVs and a Mule. You're feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, feeling very good. He's going into a Raven now. Once again, going to poke up the ramp.
that's punish.
Maybe a little bit of an overextension here as the Cyclone is there, ready to pick those off. Here comes the Raven moving across the map. We have a second one in production as well. Going to go for the Interference Matrix once again.
Yeah, and I like this move there by Maru. He shows the Cyclone of the natural expansion and then immediately moves it back into the main base to try and intercept this Raven. We'll see if he actually does catch it. ByuN moves the Hellions, into the natural expansion.
Yeah, he's going for the
just
mineral
the
line.
same time.
Cyclone defense.
Ooh,
To
the
try and
Cyclone's locked
distract
on.
the Cyclone,
Gets
but
the
Maru had already
Raven.
sent that one into the main base early with his scan, able to get enough vision to maintain the lock on, take out that Raven. 6 SCVs do fall in total, but I think that's a pretty good win for Maru. You know, you cleaned up all the map control that ByuN had. The Hellions are now off the map. You got the Raven as well. Yeah, that's a good defense.
Yeah, indeed. ByuN does enjoy a
I would
slight
push back
burst
against
from
that.
the early season.
Yes, Maru did catch the Raven was the biggest thing. Like he caught the Raven, that is nice, but Maru is behind economically, and that is going to hurt him. And he's going for a 2-ace all-in. Makes sense. Okay, very quickly, and I'm sure the cast is going to be able to catch up on it. Second starport's on the way. It's going to be a 2-port 2-base all-in at Maru. This makes sense as a reaction to losing all those SCVs. ByuN needs to scout what's going on.
He went for the really fast third CC. But I think this is eventually going to build up into a push. Usually when you see the second starport early in the game like this,
have some confidence
that you're going to be fighting strictly for air superiority. That means you're going to be making a lot of Vikings, more than your opponent, and then you're going to use...
Also, I said 2-port 2-base all-in. There's a third CC alongside. This is the macro variation, but this is still hyper-aggressive with Mass Viking.
Natural expansion, using the vision from the Vikings, being able to get out a couple of Liberators.
This is the modern variation of 2-port play, which did rise in popularity last year. True.
Yeah, the meta's kind of changed in favor of these air superiority builds, as the Viking is obviously cheaper now than it used to be. And here we see the first 2 medevacs flying across the map for ByuN. Has to be careful. Maru's also moving out.
Bearing in mind that these 2-port builds have been around for many years, and air control has always been the go-to for TvT, but this build specifically is a little bit more economic because of the change to the Viking in the most recent patch.
He's almost making a mech,
So it's allowed for more economic variations of it.
And so there isn't a lot of fallback to this. If ByuN gets
SCVs,
some damage
not
done
bad.
and just slow
Drop into the main.
from Maru.
Maru's out of position completely.
It's going to be very difficult for Maru to actually get some damage done. But you see Maru's already posturing in front of the natural expansion. Turrets are going to drop right now. They even cage in this siege tank, able to get the add-on as well. I think it should be burning down. But ByuN, this force in the main base of Maru,
he's going for the kill.
It's hard to unseat this with the infrastructure that Maru
At the same time, we're going for the base
he's
trade.
already on top of Maru's production here, and he hit the
He
base
gets in
a good while quicker. So it's looking good for ByuN right now. He's going to move down to the natural with these Marines, go to work on all these SCVs. We might turn into a full base race here as the workers are evacuated.
Yeah, Vikings are landing right now.
No repair in time.
SCV scrambled to repair it, but they could not get it in time. But now the SCVs, they are going to drill through this one. Oh, man.
Oh, he gets the Viking.
Vikings. How often do you see SCVs taking down Vikings?
And the Cyclone.
They're doing some big work, too. Most of the Vikings
Can he get 2
cleaned up
Cyclones?
there. Even the siege tank and the Cyclone falling right there.
2
to these SCVs.
Can he get the tank?
Falling rapidly on both sides. This is very difficult to call right now. The third is still there for Maru. ByuN is sending the CC across the map. This is
the Liberator.
Liberator finally able to clean everything up here in the main base. Maru still has these 3 command centers. ByuN actually floating his orbital from the natural expansion into Maru's.
Maru's defending.
Now it's moving across the midpoint of the map, and I feel like Maru should just have enough. I mean, the Vikings are able to do so much here. In terms of army on the ground right now, the army supplies a Cyclone and a Marine for ByuN. Besides that, it's just medevacs and Ravens, which obviously don't have a lot of damage output.
Yeah, once that Viking comes out, he'll be able to take out those Ravens.
It doesn't save the CC in the main.
We had like an insane wild minute, and somehow Maru won the game.
GG.
Even though he was the second one to start the base race, it looked like ByuN was quick enough and doing more damage more quickly that Maru, but somehow Maru just wins. Like, that was absolutely wild.
There's almost too much to unpack with what happened there because the action was so intense.
On both sides of the map,
we couldn't even see everything that was going on.
Right.
I mean, Maru was also cleaning up Marines on his side of the base, or on his side.
Kind of. So it's kind of weird that Sturgeon kind of walked back on his initial point. Remember that, yes, on the one hand, ByuN did dive into the main base first. That is true. But Maru was faster to push into the natural and then quickly go into the main and get into both bases and camp the production. What's important is the production facilities of Maru. He was able to barely defend in time. He was able to micro what little units he had that were popping out to pick off a tank, pick off a Cyclone, pick off a Raven as well, pick off a Liberator. So really nice attention to detail there from Maru when it came to his reinforcements specifically. So because of that, he still was able to produce from his buildings. He still had mining, of course, at his own third base and was able to make use of his production facilities. ByuN could not do that. ByuN back at home, he lost his bases, lost his economy. He had nothing else on the way, and he was shut down. GG. It was close, though. It was close. It was very intense. There were definitely some micro missteps there from ByuN, but there was just a lot happening at once. There's a lot happening at once there. GG, well played. With that, Maru does take a 2-0 lead in the series, and Maru needs one more game to claim the series. But again, that was a very, very chaotic game. And I want to say that Maru had a better start. Sorry, I want to say ByuN had the better start. Remember, killing all those SCVs, taking an economic lead, then all just came down to the base trade. And again, Maru, he was able to establish himself harder, faster across the map. And again, those reinforcements, the production specifically is what I mean. The production from Maru was more effective when it came to fighting back and picking off key units from ByuN across the map. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be coming to a break. When we come back, we'll have the remainder of the series. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 4 2026 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. We are currently mid-series here in the upper bracket semifinals. We are mid-series with Maru versus ByuN. And so far, it's been a really fast series. And I feel like I've said that about every series so far in the RSL. where we just had really fast matches, really short games. And of course, I expect that to be the case for this broadcast day as well. Maru versus ByuN, as I mentioned at the beginning of this series, of this broadcast, we expect them to be really short games, really fast games. They're both hyper aggressive in TvT. I guess it gives us the opportunity to speak a little bit on the matchup, actually. I think, especially for people that don't watch a lot of StarCraft in modern times, TvT has garnered a reputation from the early days for being very slow. TvT known for like siege line versus siege line, you know, cut the map in half, maxed out armies, staring each other down. That was kind of a narrative that was propagated over the years, for good reason, obviously. But I would say over the past, what, 5 years? Would I say 5 years? Maybe 3 to 4. Over the past 3 to 4 years, that has not been the case. During the COVID era of StarCraft, TvT did become a lot more aggressive, a lot more high octane, and a lot more chaotic. Basically since like 2021-ish, 2022 era of StarCraft. Since then, it's a little bit more rare to see these like siege lines and slower TvTs. So if you're out there, if you're watching and if you're seeing people talk about TvT and they talk about how it's like a slow matchup, they are speaking on, you know, TvTs from like I was gonna say 2016. That's not even true because of the tank evac, but like from like 2018, 2019, and even like Heart of the Storm and Wings of the Liberty sort of era of StarCraft. It's kind of like an outdated concept when it comes to TvT that has not been true for years at this point. Modern TvT is a little more aggressive, a little more intense. All mirror matchups really are, to be honest. Like, but this is one that's a little bit different, and we're just going for the proxy G-Rex. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Is he not going to check this time?
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, the idea that TvTs are like a long slugfest and you cut the map in half, that's like an outdated concept, is what I would say.
You know, one of the things about
and has been outdated for many, many years.
Basically anywhere, right? So, I mean, this is going to hit real hard. Can't say I blame ByuN for going for this.
No, it's a smart move. I wonder how many Reapers he's going to waste.
So, we kind of glossed over it. ByuN is going proxy 2 ranks. Maru is going double gas. So Maru, he does have the tools to defend. Maru, he's going to be going for a faster factory. He's going to have a faster Hellion. There's a very small window in time where ByuN has to get damage done before the Hellion pops out. He needs to delay the factory. He needs to kill the first Reaper. He needs to kill some SCVs. He needs to get damage done soon. Otherwise, Maru will outscale him.
You're about to be hit.
This isn't a build order win, but like Maru, for the most part, like he has the tools to defend.
2 more Reapers in production right now for ByuN, and Maru is highly suspicious. He's got 4 SCVs on patrol right now with 1 Reaper.
See in chat, TvT used to mean turtle versus turtle. Yes, that is true. That is true. That was very much so true. He pre-pulls the boys. He has the high ground.
The Marine is shot down.
Yeah, Maru, he's ready for this. Oh my god, even chasing.
SCV here. Okay, he sends him back. Not really suffering any losses there. Remember that the Reapers are going to regen.
And remember, the win condition is defend against Hellions until Hellions arrive. Just Maru has to defend until Hellions.
All right, Reapers push in once more. Marine gets
does he get the
grenade does hit.
Almost.
1 SCV's fallen so far. It's important for ByuN not to lose any of these Reapers.
Oh my god, that was close.
Maru's done a good job of getting these low, but just has not been able to confirm the kill. And so for Maru,
Yeah, ByuN's Reapers are so low, and the Hellions out. That's it.
One more Marine is on half HP.
The Hellions out, which means Maru he defends.
I feel like ByuN is eventually going to have to transition away from this, and Maru's kind of
There's
feeling
a
the same
CC.
way. He's going to throw down a second command center.
Ooh,
The SCVs have
ooh,
gone
ooh.
home.
Okay, now this could be really big.
Finds a way in.
He has to try to snowball the damage. The SCVs are
The boys, they coming for this round.
And he looks like he actually takes out a decent amount.
Ooh.
3 get out. And you know, the problem for ByuN is the longer this game goes on, the less likely this pressure is going to do anything.
I mean, it's already,
I mean,
the time is
basically,
come and gone.
Maru's teching through this while ByuN's kind of locked in, and you can see ByuN's going to give up. He's going to get 1 more Reaper out here, maybe try to attack in 1 more time. Meanwhile,
delays.
no second command center here for
Wow.
ByuN. Oh, sorry, just starts.
Just now starting. He's going to build out on the low ground. So Maru's still a touch ahead, and he's also going to use the scouting SCV just to confirm the transition coming through at home. He sees the factory, he sees the tech lab, so he knows the Cyclone's probably going to be coming out, and then following that should be some siege tanks in. ByuN, I like this choice. It's cheaper than the scan. He's going to use one of these barracks to gain vision on the high ground. He can micro the Reaper on this, do some harassment on the supply depot. Be careful not to go up against all those Hellions. And he can also just scout the entire tech tree right now.
Okay, so coming into this, Maru has a massive lead. Obviously, Maru, he has a massive lead. His natural base is almost done. Maru can expand faster. ByuN is going into Macfield accelerators. Remember, this does not mean mech, but this is standard.
As, kind of the post-failed rush move.
Well, they pair very well with the Reapers, don't they? They're both very quick units.
And shout out to
If you
State.
have this barracks on the other side of the map, you can just use it to get vision for the Cyclones so that you're always activating and keeping them leashed at max range.
That's a really good point. You know, the running
Did you hear that?
Is that they fall off real hard. Like, they start out really strong, and then they pretty quickly have no utility. But I guess the idea is maybe he could pair that.
Shout out to State. I wish he did this a little bit more often. So Tasteless, he was questioning the idea of ByuN going into Macfield accelerators. He was like, that's kind of weird. Whereas that is standard. It is standard to go into Macfield accelerators after the proxy 2 racks, after the failed proxy 2 racks to gain map control, to have some kind of presence on the map because your axes won't be able to do anything. And so then you can build up into the mid game into bio. And what I mean by do you see what happened? State kind of walked him through it. He was like, "Well, actually, don't you think that, like, you know, Cyclones they pair well with the Reapers, and they give you some map control, and your axes are floating?" And so it's like, "Oh yeah, you know what?" I wish the State did that a little bit more often.
And he looks like he's going to lose
I appreciate
almost
it.
all the Reapers on the way out there. And when you see the siege tank set up like
There are
this,
times where sometimes I'm a little bit critical of State for not doing that.
I don't know that ByuN can do a whole
Like,
lot
just
too
take their hand and take them through, Pappy. You can do it.
Yeah, the
You can do it,
Cyclones are gonna
State.
be good at exerting
I
map
believe in you.
control and maybe even delaying the 3rd command center at Maru, but I can't see them getting any real direct damage done on Maru while he's sitting on 2 bases right now. Hellions are going to get caught here by these Cyclones in the middle of the map. 2 of them will be cleaned up, so a little bit of map control lost here for Maru. So barracks now coming in.
Yeah, for me, we're transitioning into bio, of course. Stim is on the way, extra axes, likewise, so is Maru. Again, Maru has that economic advantage. We didn't quite point it out, but ByuN is going for a faster 3rd CC. This is a way for ByuN to recover. ByuN is in a rough position, but if he can get away with a fast 3rd, then he can make up for his economic deficits.
For ByuN, he is going to be going into bio from all of this. I think it's going to be Maru that's going to be able to make the first move. Now, he killed the SCV that was making the command center, but I feel like right now ByuN has a big, juicy target on his back. You know what I mean? I mean, Maru should be ahead, and he is, like, metric-wise, if you just look at the bottom of the screen, right? Like, he's got better supply, he's got a bigger army. I think Maru's going to be coming out here to push pretty soon as he's taking that 3rd base.
Yeah, we'll see. Double Engineering Bay finishing up right now for Maru. He's going to start 1-1.
I mean, echoing what Tace has just said, like, he is correct in saying that Maru's in a better position, and it is going to be all about the third base for both players. Can Maru secure his own? Can ByuN secure his own?
Probably are going to have a push follow up with us. Ooh,
Oh.
Cyclone's actually locking onto the Ravens right
Raven
now.
pulls away.
The scan, I think
Gets one.
Yeah, one is going to get taken out.
Very
He
nice.
drops a bunch of Cyclones in the process here, too.
Oh, can he get a second? No. Loses the lock on right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, ByuN is bleeding off Cyclones. Cyclones are only good if you're not losing them. In those, that's never a unit you want to trade with, right? That's where you want to try to get your free kills from. So Maru's got his third base up here. And
I mean, you can argue that the Cyclones have done their job in the sense that, hey, they killed a Raven, right? They killed a Raven, which was very nice. That would not have happened without Macfield accelerators. But, I guess echoing what they just said, it is unfortunate that ByuN, he lost his Cyclones. Ideally, you preserve them and you're able to get more value with them over time instead of just the one kill.
A lot into harassment and pressure. You know, you think of
As there's just a lot of micro potential with the Cyclone.
That he made, the Cyclones he's been trying to get some damage done with.
Right.
The Liberator of the main base, and Maru is still 5 workers ahead without trading quite as much army. So again, he's now going to go a little bit more headstrong into the third base with this move out, but with Interference Matrix and all of these Ravens here for Maru, I'm not sure that ByuN's actually going to have enough. Oh, is he just going to hold the middle of the map? I like this move, actually. I thought he was going to try and push into this position,
That's
which
what I
would be
thought, too.
very difficult. But if he's just trying to catch Maru here in the center of the map, I think that's a great move.
Yeah, the tanks do seem kind of fragmented.
So after a very chaotic series so far with Game 1 and Game 2, we are finally slowing things down. I mean, this is Missing You today. This is a larger map of the map pool, so you do have a lot of area to traverse, and you can see that ByuN, his hope was to try to engage with the army first and land the first tank shots as well. So ByuN is trying to gain map control. Maru's just chilling until he finishes up the upgrades, and then Maru can be active.
Right now, with the tanks kind of spread out.
I mean, I like the move of having 2 siege tanks right there because it is just the center of the map. If Maru right-clicks to ByuN's base, that is where the units are going to move through, and getting a couple of cheap shots in with their siege tanks to have the opening salvo in that fight could be a really good move, but ByuN is going to, for now, abandon that position, instead pivot into a double drop here on the left side. Oh, even a spotter depot here on the right side. I like that from ByuN.
Okay, so Maru's going to move around here. He could end up walking right into this. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's the
Oh, the siege! No, he's in the text!
Oh, no!
So lucky!
Oh, that's insane.
He gets 2!
That's crazy.
How
2
unfortunate.
siege tanks just get picked up for free. There aren't
He
even
gets
enough
3?
Marines here. This
Okay.
one was almost taken out as
Oh
well.
my god.
ByuN, he's going to try and get some damage on the natural expansion from Maru in
ByuN.
just a moment with his double drop of his own. But, man, talk about a
Don't
free
like
trade
this.
there for Maru.
The double
interference
disable!
matrix, he can't even,
Oh
he can't
my
even unload the
God.
Marines, and there's a missile turret. You cannot escape
can't
here
get
as ByuN.
away.
ByuN is getting murdered in this game. You can see
It's a
ByuN
collapse.
ByuN's
no.
head just kind of tossed back. I mean, what a
Bobby.
frustrating game.
That
Everything that he's doing
ByuN,
is working
not
right now.
like
And again,
this.
Maru's just been basically quiet.
I mean, ByuN was already behind, to be fair, but that was a brutal couple of moments. That was a brutal couple of moments. Now Maru's pushing. Maru, he's up 30 supply.
Siege tanks for free on the other side of the map, and then he gets 2 medevacs, full Marines,
no.
basically for free in his natural expansion too. I mean, everything is going his way.
Losing 2 tanks, losing 2 full medevacs as well. Maru's pushing, so has his Ravens.
And I'll think about defending it later. I'm just
The
gonna
armies
try and
pass by
dodge
each other. I think a
problems, but
base
he
trade is the best chance that
barely
ByuN has.
missing
It's not a
the
big chance, but it's the only chance he's got.
And already Maru is encroaching now between the
Catches 2
natural
more
and the third,
tanks.
and, ByuN has a decision to make. Do you go for a base trade right now with the Marines that you have in the center, or you go back to try and
He's going
defend?
for the base trade.
It looked like for a moment he's going to try and defend, but now he's just going straight on for the base trade. But I don't even know if he has enough to push through.
It's all he can do.
Yeah, big counter.
Like, what do you what else can he do, Pappy? He just has to A move and pray.
I think to really do anything with this. Yeah, there's going to be more Marines coming up here, so ByuN's going to get driven back over there as well. This game, I think, is almost over. You can see a lot of frustration on ByuN's face. He's basically getting his infrastructure pushed here. Maru is there.
GG.
Wow. How long was that? That was 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
Still one of Maru's longest
One of the
games that he's
longest,
had in this RSL. But
True.
my goodness, a 3-0 clean sweep over ByuN. And ByuN's been looking very good this season.
Yeah.
I mean, Maru is just completely on fire, and he's making these opportunities arise out of like seemingly thin air. He's always in the perfect position to catch everything. I mean, those 3 siege tanks that he got for free, that's ridiculous. And then
Those
to cap
2
it off,
siege
ByuN's
tanks,
like, okay, well, I'll
to
try
be
to get a
fair.
counterpunch in. I'll double drop to the natural expansion. And there's a missile turret and Ravens waiting for him.
I mean, that's just a disaster. Like, the entire game pivoted in that one moment.
Right now, it does feel like there's a massive discrepancy in skill here between these two guys. I mean, Maru looked completely perfect.
Kind of. Like, bearing in mind, I think this often does happen as well when it comes to a lot of analysis. Bearing in mind that Maru, he was doing all of this from a superior position. Remember, Maru, he had the stronger economy to begin with. He had the better tech as well. Remember, it's always easy to forget this whenever a game ends like this. But the game started with ByuN going for a Proxy 2-Rax and failing the Proxy 2-Rax Reaper, right? Like, again, ByuN was playing from behind. This gave Maru the freedom to, with that greater economy, be able to invest into turrets, for example. It is natural. Have the free money to do so, to be active on the map as well, to have that freedom. It was very unlucky that he caught those tanks on siege. I don't think even Maru expected that to happen, so bear that in mind. I wouldn't necessarily give too much credit to like planning or strategy there. Like, he was just being active because he had the freedom to do so, because there was less pressure on him because of the early game as well. It all kind of like played into each other. It was just a really rough early to mid game for ByuN in all 3 games, to be honest. In all 3 games, often ByuN would fall behind early or just die early and just struggle to recover from there. But this is something that is a little bit more common with mirror matchups. In mirror matchups, the reality is that because you have the same tools as your opponents, when you fall behind, it is very difficult to recover from falling behind. Whether it's a PvP, ZVZ, or TvT as well, there are avenues and ways to recover, like drop play, for example, or out positioning your opponent as well. But again, you are in a way kind of relying on your opponent making some mistakes to be able to pull that off. It's still possible. Like, imagine if the turrets weren't there in position and ByuN got his medevacs across the map. Imagine if ByuN didn't unsiege in those moments and he was able to catch those marines in the center map instead with his tank fire. Like, there are definitely some ways or some things that could have gone a little bit better there for ByuN, but regardless, GG. GG well played. With that, Maru does claim the series. He does advance on into the upper bracket finals, and he is waiting for the winner of our next matchup. It's going to be a TvP in the upper bracket finals, whether it's up against Trigger or MaxPax, yet to be determined, as that is going to be our next and final series of the broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. As we do very quickly get ready for that. Un momento. It's catching up. Now, PvP, what should be the shortest RSL stream ever? That's going to be difficult to achieve, but it might be. If you know anything about the RSL streams have been really short. Not even just today's broadcast, but every broadcast day, really fast games, really short series. There's one exception, and I think that was the previous TvT between Cure and ByuN. It was hyper fast games all the way until the ace match, and then I think it was the ace match. It was either game 4 or game 5 where we actually got like a 30 to 40 minute like late game TvT. We actually got one late game. we got one macro game, and that did elongate the broadcast. So you're correct in saying that this might be the shortest broadcast this season for RSL, but in general the broadcast days have been very short. Again, like, I just don't think it's very wise to only have 2 best of 5s in a broadcast. Like, it just leads to just really short broadcast days. I think I'd be, I spoke of this before, I would be a little bit more lenient towards it if we just had more content in between. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want to harp on it too much because I say this every time. Yo, we're in Korea. Does it take much to like, and do we have I don't want to get too much into like the Patreon and the funds that they have. You know, can we not like pay Maddox to translate, and we can have like a winners interview with Maru? Can we not can we not do that? Like, we have cams, can we not like bring on Maddox, bring on Crank, I should say, bring on a translator and have like a winners interview, so we can hear from some of the thoughts, or maybe even like a pre-match interview as well between ByuN and Maru as well. Like, if we do plan on only having 2 series a day, like, there's things that we can do in the position that we're in, because we're in Korea, right? Like, whether it's having the players come into studio, whether it's having having other personalities on as well, translator as well on top of that, to be able to speak to the players. The players are all local, bear that in mind. You know, they're all localized, centralized in Korea. Take advantage of that as well. That's what I would want out of RSL, but you know, we'll see what they're able to bring together in the future. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our final series of the broadcast. We'll have Trigger and MaxPax. See you soon.